All right, well, welcome to another episode of the Football Friends podcast. I'm joined by Ash and Paddy again,
Kia ora.
Hello.
but of course we've got to talk about the final. Of course, I feel like I'll let Paddy take it from here as he's our representative of the team that played in the final.
Yeah, one of the two teams finished in the top two. Not so bad. Yeah, holistically, obviously, I'm stoked. But let's talk about the game. Obviously, got off to a very, very good start. And what a way to score your first England goal about 2 minutes into a final. Big-
For sure.
Big Shawberto Carlos.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what a goal! Like even Donnarumma didn't even think
Zero
that Luke Shaw
chance.
could do that.
Zero chance.
Everyone was just assuming that Luke Shaw was going to put that across, as normally he would.
Well, it was sort of a nice floaty one from Trippier, and we sort of everyone. It seemed like the defenders rushed towards Kane. Fair enough. And the ball just sort of didn't come down until it got to the left wing back. It was quite a symmetrical, wing back to wing back goal. I quite liked it.
Yeah, well, the thing you really have to remember is even Mourinho changed his mind on Luke Shaw by the end of this tournament. Like that's how good it was.
I think it would take a very, very stubborn man, which Mourinho is, but an extremely stubborn man to not change your mind on Luke Shaw after.
That's what I'm saying. The stubbornest man in football. Even he changed his mind.
Finally.
Is that less on how good Shaw was and how bad Mourinho is?
Certainly on how stubborn he is. I don't think Mourinho.
No, my theory is that Mourinho actually just knows which players need negative reinforcement.
Yeah.
So like if he some players he can motivate by making them hate him to prove him wrong, and there's certain players respond really well to that.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have a perfect record for it, but I think you're right.
But by antagonising Shaw in the first place, it fired him up, and you can tell that by midway through the tournament, he ripped out Mourinho, basically. So
Yeah.
it did definitely affect him, and there you go. It put him to that next level in the same way that giving him competition at Man United by hiring another defender pushed him further as well.
I'd like to see Mourinho meet Luke Shaw after that game, and you're like, Luke, it's great to see you. I knew that my motivation would work.
Yeah.
Just like taking credit for, look, I'm going to take credit now for your development.
He definitely would, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I know you see it a different way, but we scored, and basically from that moment, well, I mean, we didn't park the bus, we didn't go full defensive, but it's like we started with a sort of counter-attacking theme. We didn't hold the ball particularly well. We sort of allowed them to do that. But after about 35 minutes, the counter-attack stopped. What do you think, Ash?
Yeah, I'd say it a very similar way. Started with energy and just enthusiasm of the final.
I would say that it started with belief.
Yeah.
After they scored that goal, they actually believed that they deserved to be there for a moment.
Yeah.
Because other than that, they all feel inadequate.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
No. That's
You
it's
don't
probably
think
a
so?
bit. That's probably a bit far, but
But I mean, like a lot of people still don't take England seriously as a contender in large sense. But then here we go. They're right into the final and they're playing like they belong. They're scoring on.
that's a
within 2
very
minutes.
media point of view.
What do you mean?
That seems like it's a
I'm making
like,
an analysis of the broad opinion. Yeah.
yeah. It's very clickbait.
Clickbait.
England is still shit.
Old clickbait gauge.
No, I'm just saying, like, any doubt that the players were having in themselves, like, holy shit, we're here playing Italy, like, that's a big deal, was immediately overcome by scoring this goal so early.
Yeah.
Because that's a sign, like, we are here to play the game. And they played they believed that they could actually win it.
Yeah.
And they played that half like they did believe.
I totally agree. Even though we allowed them to have a lot of the ball after that, it still didn't really seem like a problem. Like, the only player in the first half who I feared on Italy was Chiesa, who was the guy who actually seemed like he wanted to try to score.
That was it. He was playing with belief as well.
Yeah.
That was it, and that's why he looked miles better than everyone else around him. He actually wanted to win it.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I think once again you go back to that first goal. The first goal scored early, and then it was almost like England didn't know what to do. They had like you said, that counter-attacking idea that we're going to go out. This is how we're going to get to them. It worked straight away, but they weren't ready for it. They weren't ready for that to work that early. That game plan to be right, and like I said, that belief to be there. And then after that, they kind of took 2 steps back.
Yeah.
And then, it was almost like they sat on the bench for half a game because everything slowed down. The balls kind of went side to side rather than that forward passing momentum, and that they kind of wanted Italy to come at them, but
they didn't. Italy actually slowed it down.
They understood what they wanted to do
after half time, because the first half was frenetic. It was so quick, and it would have actually been opportune for us to counter attack. And then after we went back out for the second half, they slowed it down. They actually took control of the ball, slowed it down. They didn't craft, you were saying off mic, Gage, they didn't craft too many golden chances. I don't think England really did.
The closest one was Chiesa's in the first half.
Yeah.
And then, other than that, it wasn't too, aside from the goal, I guess.
Well, the second one, yeah, that's just kind of true. The other one was just before the goal. Chiesa took a shot from 18 yards, which Pickford saved. Corner comes in, and Italy score off a complete muddle. You and I discussed off camera. Again, what did you think of England's penalty appeal on Sterling?
I feel like it could have been a penalty for sure, but
do you remember the one we're talking about?
No, yeah, the two coming together from both centre backs.
Yeah.
I see no different to the semi-final penalty.
I thought it was worse.
I agree. If you give one, you have to give the other. Just because it's a final and the next step in the tournament doesn't mean that it still isn't a penalty. He was played off the ball. Two experienced centre backs knew exactly what they're doing, and they would have to agree that would be a penalty.
And they came in late, which is a foul, 100%. Which is a foul in itself. So.
Yeah. There was certainly more contact on him in this game than there was in the Denmark game.
Yeah.
And we can go back to the Denmark one or you like and say how it was harsh, but if we were to have been awarded that penalty, I don't think it would have been harsh.
No, still a penalty.
Yeah. Yep. Probably could have been, for sure.
So, yeah, but then a game of ifs and buts.
I don't want to be that guy. I like to say, oh, we would have won if that happened. It's like, no, probably not. Maybe not.
But I mean, the thing is, if you played them again, you probably could win.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. It's the kind of game. Any game that goes to penalties, you could say, on another day, a different result. The other team would win before 90 minutes. On 90 minutes, and that's obviously part of what's so gutting for England this time, but for any team who loses on a penalty shootout, for any team who loses in the final. it hurts. You sing and dance for 2 hours, and you believe, and we feel like. I mean, I don't know if I felt like the game was going our way, but I certainly believed even in penalties we could win.
Oh, you always had a chance.
Yeah. It is a lottery. It is a lottery after all, and it's a 50-50. 50-50.
Italy scored very late. Into that. So there's, that whole game, England was still ahead and just didn't capitalise on anything.
I think as we say with any number of things, our pragmatism, which got us this far, and sort of bore out the goal, also became our weakness after Italy scored, because Italy just kept going. They just kept going, and it took us a while to make a visual change on the pitch and an actual change from the subs bench. It didn't seem like Southgate knew what to do, because from the start of the second half, that maybe they weren't creating golden chances, but they were knocking on the door.
They were controlling the game.
They had control of the game. They had control of England, and they were knocking on the door the entire time.
I don't know. That's not really what I thought. I kind of thought it was more like 50-50 in the second half. And then England played very well in the extra time as well. But it's just we're dealing with the best defensive unit in the whole tournament.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong.
Even if you're playing really, really well, sometimes you're not scoring, right?
Yeah.
And look at how Declan Rice was playing in that game. He was dominating their midfield by himself.
There's another one. 70 minutes in, we took our best player off. Declan Rice was not only our best player, he was the best player on the pitch up until the point where he went off. And
I feel like he was done. He didn't. I don't really think he had much more energy left.
I totally disagree. I reckon he had plenty more to go. Maybe he only said to Southgate, "I've got 75 minutes."
Oh, but I think that's the perfect time to bring on Henderson.
I agree, and it should have been for Calvin Phillips.
Calvin Phillips was doing really well too, and Calvin Phillips has more in it, can go longer. He has more stamina than Declan Rice.
Possibly so, but Rice was the best player on the pitch, and in my mind, you don't take off your best performing player.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure. I would say Luke Shaw was probably the best player.
If you're giving like football manager ratings where you get.
I just think Southgate definitely had a valid reason to take him off.
He must have done.
The main issue people are bringing up is he did the subs too late, but that's actually an early sub which probably needed to be done.
I agree with that. Like certainly, they scored the goal and we should have had a sub after 2 minutes. We should, because what we shortly after that, Trippier came off for Saka. Okay, that's a good attacking substitute. I don't know if I thought Saka played all that well in the final, but fair enough. That's not Southgate's fault. But to me, that should have happened earlier. We should have taken the opportunity to go on the front foot, because playing 3-4-3 at that point, 1 hour in, even before their goal, was
ineffective.
It was ineffective.
Yeah.
We were allowing them to come at us. We did not look like scoring very much in the second half at all. Aside from set pieces, where Stones had a good chance. I'm trying to think of another one. We had there was certainly another couple of semi-decent chances from set pieces.
See, I don't know. I feel like the system was still kind of working. They are a defensive team that sit back and counter-attack. And there were multiple... They had a couple of good chances in that half.
Yeah.
And Italy didn't really have any of their own. They had a few long-range shots that were forced out by England's defence, and that's about it.
But that's kind of what I'm saying. Like when it's like a war of attrition. It's a war of position almost. And when the entire game is played inside your 30-yard, inside 30 yards of your goal, you get worn down. You get pushed down. And you say it's great that we're a counter-attacking side. I agree when we do counter-attacks, and we weren't doing that.
I see it slightly different on the whole substitute side of it. Yes, when they took Rice off was the right time. Whether it to be Rice or not, I don't really have too much of a argument against whether it was Rice or Phillips.
Yeah.
My argument is Henderson was the wrong option.
Okay.
I think they should have brought on somebody else with more attacking influence, and I also think Mount at the same time should have come off.
Yeah.
So if you
agree.
take off Phillips and you take off Mount, and you bring on Grealish and Saka, or something like that, and change the shape a little bit. You don't have to. It doesn't have to change heaps, but just a little bit. Question that Italian defence.
Yeah.
They've held you at bay since that first goal in the first 5 minutes. So change it and make them think something else. Otherwise, you're playing the same game for 120 minutes. It's just different players. They've, like you said, best defensive unit. They know their jobs. Doesn't matter who they play against. They do their jobs. So I would have, for me, Mount did probably one of his worst games. For me,
I thought Mount was all right.
it wasn't bad.
But
It was just not.
But that's the thing. He wasn't actually offering anything more after about 70 something, and I don't know when he came off, but it was barely any time left in the 90 minutes.
Yeah, to make a difference. Yeah.
And I know you can say, oh, he's planning for extra time, but what if Grealish comes on and then they immediately score?
Yeah.
It's useless. You've got
but I mean, what if a meteorite comes out of the sky and kills everyone?
Yeah, but that's not a likely thing to happen in a football game. A goal in a football game is actually...
Scoring within a minute is not very likely either.
No, I suppose not. But Luke Shaw can tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I think Mount would have played better if England had more of that ball, but because they surrendered so much possession to Italy, it made him less effective throughout that whole game. Just as the game went on, he saw less and less of the ball.
Well,
I personally would have liked to see Mount come off, Grealish come on, and even Kane drop deeper, and let Kane play a bit more of a playmaker role.
Well, again, he was doing that in the first half.
But actually bring him right back in front of those two centre mids and just let him get the ball. He saw stuff all ball, so...
Yeah, that's another one. I don't think he had a touch inside Italy's box.
Oh, the best attacking threat England have, and you just can't get him on the ball. Like, see something for the Italy defence. Like,
well, yeah, you've got Chiellini and Bonucci on him. Like,
yeah.
Two of the best defenders ever.
Yeah, look, you always know that a final is going to be a war. And if you want... Who more do you want in a war than two Roman bloody generals in Bonucci and Chiellini? I looked at that lineup and I thought, there's no one on the pitch that I fear more than those two. Forget attacking threats, forget Chiesa, forget Immobile. These guys, if one of them, if we can get one of them sent off, or if one of them gets hurt during the game, we have a better chance. I mean, again, wishful thinking. It's a bit whimsical. It's a bit random, but it's no surprise that they sort of, they played their old tricks. The footballing dark arts, if you like. Chiellini pulling back on Saka's shirt.
Great shirt.
But yeah, again, great foul.
Great foul.
But I love Chiellini, but good God, in that game, I hated him.
Yep. Again, it wasn't even a yellow card.
It was.
It wasn't given. It wasn't given.
It was given as a yellow card. Yeah, he got booked for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think he did. Sorry, my mistake.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes.
But that's it. You do it on halfway, and it's all good.
That's
you
gonna
get away with it. And he still stops the counter attack.
Yeah, exactly.
Worth.
It's a great way of, they knock Saka over, they stop this counter attack, they know that the England players are going to come over and have a bit of a push and a shove, and you stop all this momentum. Immediately, there's just a break in play, and all the Italians can get a breather.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the smartest cheating that you can possibly do.
Definitely. Oh, yeah. Well, their intelligence is why they're the best defenders around.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's not their pace.
And their experience.
Yeah.
Because they're definitely the most experienced defenders of the top echelon.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
Chiellini's 37 soon? Or
Yeah,
something
I think-
something along those lines?
I think
Or
between them, they're 70.
far out.
Yeah, surely. Yeah. I can barely tell them apart, to be honest.
And am I right in saying that it's the first major international trophy they've won for Italy? Is that right? Was
I think Chiellini might
was
have
he
been in
part
the
of
2006 squad.
I don't think he was, but
I'm sure we can find that out.
do not quote me on that.
No, I wouldn't dare.
But
Yeah.
But if they were, they'd be the only ones.
yeah,
Of course, then we went into extra time, and I'm trying to think of any major chances that either team had in extra time. Nothing golden. Nothing. It seemed like they were both really happy to just wait and basically play for penalties, which, I mean, it's a dangerous game. I know we've been through the stat, and okay, confirmed until Monday morning, New Zealand time, of course. Monday morning, no team had won 2 penalty shootouts in the same European Championship. So in an international tournament, yes. In the European Championships, never before. I think it's quite funny, and I'm jumping ahead past the game a little bit here, before the game, if you like. Switzerland beat France, then Spain beat Switzerland, then Italy beat Spain, and then Italy had another one, and England were meant to continue the chain of events.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
They did not. But
That's not a thing that happened.
But yeah, yet again, penalties is what defeats England.
Yeah, it's rough to take, because it's been quite a while since I've seen us lose a game on penalties. I think it was 2012. 2012 was the last time we got beat on penalties, and of course we've had a couple of victories on penalties in the meantime. But there was again a great chance to put another demon to bed, and another how do you say it? We got beat by Italy in 2012, so we had a chance for revenge. Not that any of those players are still playing, but yet another chance to sort of get a monkey off her back. And I mean, of course, you can't win them all. Do we want to talk about the shootout itself?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, what do you think about the penalties and the takers?
Well, the two Harrys. Absolutely,
Screamers.
absolute stunning
I
penalties.
didn't even know Maguire could do that. Amazing.
Yeah,
He's nowhere in the order in taking penalties for Man United.
no.
So it was kind of interesting to see him come in at 2 and just fucking blast one.
Did he play in the Europa League?
He
No, he was injured.
No, he was injured in the
Right.
final, yeah. But he did take a penalty last time for England as well, though, in the World Cup.
Yeah, and of course he scored. Look, it's tough to take. And of course, I think by the time Pickford made his first save from Belotti's penalty, I think my voice was just about gone. And then Italy's next one was Bonucci, who, I mean, all the experience of a man of 35, of a world class defender of 35, to lift it. And I mean, Pickford got a hand on that one as well. Well, a fingertip, if you like.
Pickford was absolutely incredible in that game.
In the game,
overall.
in the tournament, in the shootout,
definitely,
he was brilliant.
And then to make 2 saves in the shootout as well, and still not win.
It's quite unusual. You'd have to show me. I'm sure the stats on that one would be.
That's what I'm trying to get at here. Is a lot of people think it's one-sided, like it was Italy that dominated this game, and I'm saying like, nah, it was like 50.0001% Italy.
Yeah.
And the rest was England. It literally edged it to the max.
Well, there's actually no closer than it can really get.
Exactly.
Which brings me on to Marcus Rashford's penalty. It was. I'm holding up a couple of fingers, and it's. You know, if you're listening, how close I mean. It is that close to being the perfect penalty.
Oh yeah.
I feel so bad for it. He gives the keeper the eyes. He sends him down. He's on the floor, and then he hits the post.
Yeah. Unlucky.
It is completely gutting, and it almost felt like Rashford, like Sancho tried to do the same thing. Like he had a bit of a skit in his run up, and he obviously. Look, man, I don't know if Donnarumma could see it in his eyes, see it in his hips. I don't know what he looks at. But he obviously went the right way for Kane. He went the right way for Sancho and Saka. Man, I mean, we were watching 2 goalkeepers on top of their shit, bro.
Yeah. Donnarumma saving 2 as well. You know, I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, he ended up with player of the tournament, didn't he?
Never been done by a goalkeeper before.
By a goalkeeper, and well deserved.
Definitely.
But yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Those 2 goalkeepers in the final were
the best goalkeepers.
Yeah,
Definitely,
easy,
definitely.
Easy. Maybe the other one that you could put in with those 2 would be Schmeichel. Kasper Schmeichel.
He had a very good tournament.
Very underrated goalkeeper.
Certainly.
But yeah.
Yeah, perennially underrated.
I was always wondering why, Chelsea spends a ridiculous amount of money on Kepa when they could have just gone for Schmeichel or.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
And now Pickford. I feel like Pickford's in that vein now too. Like the next big 6 club that needs a goalkeeper. If you're not going for Pickford, you're an idiot. He was amazing in that tournament.
Interesting. I mean, do you think he's better than?
Do
you think he's better than Leno of Arsenal?
Yes.
Do you think, Ash, you might have some insight into this? How much longer do you think Lloris has at the club?
I think his time's done.
Yeah.
Personally, I think at club level he might have 1, maybe 2 left in him. But my personal standpoint on him as a goalkeeper, I think his best days are done.
Yeah.
If I was looking for another goalkeeper, there's one name I want to look up in the phone book, and it's is Rob Green available?
Rob Green. Okay,
God.
that's absolutely not what I thought was going to be said.
Well, I think we're going a bit off. We're going a bit off track here. Well, let's just finish talking about the penalties, then we can go into our
into goalkeepers.
Into our top 11 of the tournament.
Rob
So
Green,
so
Rob
what
Green,
do you
Rob
guys think about the selection of the penalty takers? How do you feel about the controversy that's surrounding that?
Well, Southgate said himself that they practiced them all, and they were the best penalty takers through the week, and that's who he picked.
Yep.
And fair enough. I would have liked to see Grealish take one over Saka.
Yeah,
I just
agree
think
with that.
I think mentally Grealish might have something else to offer than
Well, Grealish has
a
that.
kid.
He has that.
His ex.
He has that flair too, you know. Like, so he's not going to step up and take a regular penalty. He's gonna smash it in or something, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like he plays with such confidence that he would just do that. But one stat that I did find out that may have affected Southgate's selection as well was Jack Grealish had missed his last penalty, and Sterling had missed his last 3. So you think that maybe he's thinking, maybe I won't select these guys because they missed their last one and they've got that extra doubt in their mind.
Maybe. See, I've no problem with the individuals who took penalties. Rashford has a great track record. Sancho, as far as I'm aware, has a pretty decent track record.
Both are penalty specialists.
Both are penalty takers.
But you would
Saka
say you
is
would
the
say
one.
you would say Grealish is too for Villa.
Yes.
If Villa get a penalty, who's taking it? Grealish,
Uh,
Ollie Watkins,
During the season,
maybe
El Ghazi was
El
taking
Ghazi.
it.
Yeah,
El Ghazi
No,
was
I
taking.
think John McGinn might usually
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah, maybe so.
but you know when you look at on paper, you know Grealish is your main attacking threat, your captain. You know he's the first one to step up in theory. So yeah,
Well, I disagree with Saka because I don't even know if he'd have taken a professional penalty before in a match,
Yeah, look, it's
even though he did really good in training. I mean,
No, you can't blame him for missing. It's not his fault either. Like
no. Well, he is a confident player. He
Yeah.
plays with confidence. So when Southgate says to him, "I want you to take penalty number 5," he says, "Of
You can do it."
course,
Yeah.
I would love to."
yeah.
But
You know?
on that as well, you also alluded to the fact that it wasn't his best game.
Yeah.
Like, he was having a hard day. So do you not look at that and go, the 20, 30 minutes that you've played haven't been your best. You're not feeling the rhythm of the game. Maybe we change our mind. And Southgate took a long time to get his penalties in. Italy were, bang, here it is. Here's our 5.
Yeah.
They knew straight away.
Yeah.
But Southgate, it was a lot of back and forward. Who's taking it? Who's taking which one?
Well, yeah, I always think, and maybe, like you kind of alluded to there, the players who are confident on the pitch, like Luke Shaw, had he taken one, probably would have smashed the shit out of it and scored. Pickford was next on the list.
I was going to say, Pickford was next
Pickford
on
was
the
down
list.
to
And
take number 6. He should have been first.
I think it should be compulsory that as soon as you get a penalty, whether it's at the end of the 120 or
we go.
in the first minute, goalkeepers have to take the penalty.
So it's in the first minute or the last minute.
Yeah, 100%. Doesn't matter if it's in a shootout, everything. Goalkeepers have first crack.
I think that's ludicrous.
And at that same point, for the first penalty in a shootout, your striker should be in goal.
No, hang on.
What? This is blasphemy.
Why not?
You're going too crazy, bro.
Why not? Just
What you want to make it? You want to make the penalty shootout worse?
I just want more goals.
This might not do it. It might.
Okay, how do you? Our idea. We discussed this the other day. We had the thought penalty shootouts should always just be
Every
11
player.
All 11 people, so you get to see more penalties.
What, trying to kick one ball? Or
all at once after one ball. Oh wait, that's called the game.
No, so you do it like cricket. Like one team takes their entire 11 takers first, and they score 7,
Yeah.
8, whatever, and then the other team has to chase it.
Okay.
I mean, look, it's no more ludicrous than saying 5 and you go back and forward. It's
Or does your penalty taker take them until they miss one? So it's like king of the table, king of the penalty spot sort of thing.
Yep.
You don't have to swap player until they miss.
Yeah.
Alright, interesting. Okay. Does he have like a
But you still have to start with
specialist?
goalkeepers.
Huh?
Still have to start with goalkeepers.
Yeah.
Start from the back.
So you just have to have a goalkeeper penalty specialist every time.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay.
Again, ludicrous. Yeah, and I think another major thing that people criticised him for was Rashford and Sancho, barely touched the ball, came on 120th minute, and got a kick each.
But like we said earlier, I said to you earlier, I believe that was because he brought them on because they are penalty specialists.
Of course,
we see this all the time, right? Like in major tournaments, when it gets to like the last few minutes, you bring on your people who can take good penalties, and that's what he did. So he wasn't them not having touched the ball didn't matter because they were there to score a penalty.
And it's kind of like you said with Saka, they're going to be offered to take the third and fourth penalty in a Euro final, and they're both just going to go, yeah, absolutely, let's do it.
Yeah, well, Southgate would have, because Rashford came on at right back, so Southgate would have said to him, "I'm subbing you on to take a penalty."
Yeah,
and he would have been like, "Of course, that's what I do."
Yeah, stand at right back.
Yeah,
kick someone.
But yeah, I guess it just didn't work out. It's they win 3-2. They missed two. They had two penalties saved as well, and you guys still didn't quite get through.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally gutting that it's got to come down to that, but that's life. That's football. That's knockout games. That's penalty shootouts. That's what it is. And it hurts, and I'm sure it hurts them more than what it hurts me. But that's how it is. What can I possibly do about it except say that I'm really proud that I've seen England now play in the final. We deserve to be there. We deserve to hold our own in the game. And I've never felt so good. I've never believed more in England than now.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what they do at the next World Cup.
Oh, mate, I am buzzing already.
It'll be cool to see where players like Mason Mount, Saka, Declan Rice, where all these guys are at in 2 years' time.
Well, that's right. The good thing is that these players are not 33. This is not it for them. They now have their own redemption to make. And I'd love nothing more than England to play in another... Look, I don't really want to play in a penalty shootout because it means it's nerve-wracking. But I'd love for those three guys to get another shot at penalties and all put them away. I want that. That'd be amazing.
I guess so. I don't know. I just want to strategize around not having to...
Look, okay, fine. How about this? We play Italy and we win 3-0 and those are the guys who score.
There you go, yeah.
But good enough for me. Whatever.
Well, yeah, a lot of those guys have so much potential and Southgate is a good coach, man. He is really good. And this tournament proved it, man. He got basically everything right up until the final where he made a few mistakes.
Yeah. And we still only lost on, the bounce of the ball, the rub of the green, the whatever.
The width of the post.
Exactly right.
I think you're not completely wrong about Southgate. I think he needs to have a bit more confidence in the players and when he brings them on. I think that's his weakest. His weakest point is changing the game with substitutions and formations and just... England have the attacking threat. Use it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
If I could be at that final, I would have walked around the whole stadium to stand behind him and just scream at him, attack the whole time, just attack. They just
this is why you are not a professional football coach.
Yeah, well, if he can inspire the team to believe that they can win like they did in the first half, then England can win a trophy.
Yeah.
If he can get them to play like they played in that first half, then there's no limit.
Yeah, I should totally agree.
So I actually think it's quite a positive outcome, really. Even though you guys
Of course
lost,
it is.
I think it's
Of course it is. Second place. If we get, I mean, I'll get quite bored of it. But if we get second place in every tournament from now till eternity, that's unbelievably consistent and unbelievably high achieving.
Yeah. All right. Well, I suppose we should move on then. And so, yeah. So, who's your tournament 11?
Okay. Well, do you want to know who it was? Who UEFA gave it to?
Sure.
It was Donnarumma, Walker, Maguire, Bonucci, Spinazzola, Jorginho, Højbjerg. For goodness sake, Pedri, Chiesa, Sterling, Lukaku. And quite a few of those I actually agree with.
Sure.
Particularly the front three, and the middle three actually.
I agree. The only one I would take out would be Lukaku.
Well, let's go through it. We'll start with goalkeepers.
Donnarumma, it's a no-brainer.
He wins the player of the tournament, but see,
he's the best goalkeeper in the world at the moment, isn't he?
I guess so.
Name me a better goalkeeper.
I don't. Yeah, at the moment I don't think there is one.
Oh, it's
Buffon.
Alisson.
Yeah, up there.
Oh, Edison. No, it's
No.
Edison, man.
No.
Edison,
No.
100%.
Look,
He led the league on clean sheets, and he did that 2 years in a row.
That's because Donnarumma wasn't in the Premier League. So.
Yeah, because he was busy middle tabling at AC Milan.
rude. Yeah, look.
But and if anything, I actually think Pickford probably played just as good.
I think
He only conceded 1 goal from open play.
and even that was a scruffle.
Yeah. It was like it wasn't really his fault at all. And then the other one's the free kick.
Yeah, I think the difference between them is negligible. I ended up writing down 3. I wrote down multiple for each sort of section of the pitch. I wrote down Donnarumma, Pickford, and Jan Sommer, who up until Switzerland went out was superb.
Mm-hmm.
If you press me, I'd write Donnarumma. Winning the game is.
Yeah, I wish in some world we could have Donnarumma wins player of the tournament just so Pickford can have goalkeeper of the tournament.
Well,
it wouldn't make sense.
It seems a bit just like kicking the last tooth out that Golden Glove is not awarded in the Euros.
Oh, okay.
So there is no prize for. Oh no, there's no prize for Pickford for keeping those clean sheets. Keeping those clean sheets.
Well, see, there you go. He actually kept more clean sheets than Donnarumma.
Than anyone.
Yeah,
he kept 5. He kept 3.
that's amazing.
And Schmeichel kept 3 as well.
So that's what I'm saying, man. Like, honestly, Pickford is still right up there.
Yeah, look, I think he was awesome. I think he was great. I think Donnarumma was. I don't know what to tell you. It's something intangible. It's not exactly a stat.
It's because he won.
Well, sure. But when I was looking at the England players about to take their penalties, Donnarumma looked about 15 feet tall. And
yeah, he's huge.
That's, yeah, I know. But Jordan's not exactly a short guy either.
Yeah, but I don't know what that proves.
That he should have also...
Scary looking, so he gets an award.
Looks like a dinosaur.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Either way,
two very good goalkeepers
in that.
Who rightfully were in the final.
Mm-hmm. And so right back, they put Kyle Walker.
They put Kyle Walker,
and I kind of agree with that.
I actually don't agree with that. When he was playing right back, I think he was very good at centre back. And obviously they've got it. I think they're just trying to put him in because he was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I struggled to think of other right backs that played really well, to be honest.
Oh,
it sort of ended up like that.
I had down Di Lorenzo and Llorente, Marcos Llorente of Spain.
That I don't think they both like. Marcus Llorente didn't play there consistently, and
He didn't play there consistently.
I don't think he played there in every game.
Yeah, I think he did. I'm pretty sure he played right back in every game. I don't think he ended up... if he did play midfield, it was sort of sporadic. It was like, he got moved around through necessity rather than like actually being chosen there.
Yeah.
Look,
I guess so.
I found it impressive that a guy who is not naturally a right back played at right back. Impressed me anyway, which is the ultimate quiz. Sure, Walker was good. I just don't think he was. Maybe.
Again, you guys only conceded 2 goals.
Yep.
He played flawlessly in defence.
Yeah, as a defender, I have no.
Yeah.
I have no qualms with Kyle Walker. So, fine.
I would stick with Walker. He was my pick.
Yeah.
Slightly biased, but
Sure.
but not. Yeah, it's not just the Euros. Walker's been good. He's been good for City all year. Like it might be that yes, he plays in the centre. He plays on the right. He's consistently good.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that he made a mistake.
Not
He
really.
hasn't made major mistakes at any point, and as a back unit, England was so good that he's always going to be
Exactly.
there.
That he kind of
thereabouts.
deserves to be in the conversation
Yeah.
for just defenders.
And I don't
Okay.
think you could pick any of those 3 that you mentioned. You wouldn't have any gripes against any 3 of them. So,
No.
but yeah, I agree with Walker.
All right.
And then so left back they put Spinazzola.
I had him down as well, and obviously Shawberto.
Yeah, I ended up going with Shaw. Spinazzola was my second pick, that's for sure. He is really good. But then Luke Shaw, I think, just was unreal. Like he played some of the best football I've ever seen.
Well, certainly during the knockout period, he found another gear. I think England in general found another gear, but Shaw played both left back and left wing back, which may sound negligible to 1 or 2 people, but it's a different role. It's a different thing to do, and he was boss at both.
Yeah, he absolutely creamed it in my opinion. So, yeah, I personally would have preferred Luke Shaw.
I have a different viewpoint.
Yep.
My pronunciation is shocking, but
Okay.
the Danish fullback,
Mailer, I
Mailer,
believe it
Mailer,
is.
it is
Yeah,
yeah.
Milo.
Mailer. I
Him.
told you. Yeah,
He's very good.
he had a cracker tournament. I think, if anything, he was the most improved in that position.
Yeah.
He stood out from. Yeah, no,
He's an honourable mention
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
So that was my personal pick. If I was putting a team out there, he would be.
That's totally fair enough. I actually had him down as I wrote down
Sub.
just a number of players in each position, and
he would come on for Rice at 30 minutes.
he would come on with a bowl of rice.
Yeah. All right. So centre backs, they had was it Bonucci and Maguire?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
who they had.
And that was
Agreed
actually,
and agreed.
that was actually both what I came up with as well.
Again, maybe Maguire was awesome, but it's hard to Chiellini. If I was picking 2, it would be Chiellini and Bonucci. They were, in my mind, they were at least 2 most important players, even more important than Donnarumma. And I mean, Bonucci scored a goal in the final. Not exactly a defender's job, but fine.
But he scored a goal earlier as well in the tournament, didn't he?
I think
was
he
it Chiellini?
scored one and then it was chalked off.
Oh, was it?
I think Chiellini also scored one and it was chalked off. But when you have those guys, like, oh god, it was just, there was a number of blocks made in the Belgium game, and they were just about snogging each other on the pitch. These are 2 guys who take defending very seriously and I think Maguire was awesome. I'm very happy with Maguire. But if you ask me to name 2, it's Bonucci and Chiellini.
Maguire just gives you something else going forward, though, doesn't he?
Big old head.
Compared to those other 2.
Maguire
He
was
has a little bit more to him
Aerial
than
threat on a corner. Yeah.
the other 2 are smarter players by far, but Maguire has something a little bit extra that they don't have, and that modern game wants, I guess.
Dude,
But
I think Maguire played a performance worthy of his transfer fee.
for somebody that was injured leading into the tournament, like
Yeah. He still missed,
the first two?
games?
Yeah.
Missed the first 2 games and then stepped back in and played unreal.
Yeah.
Made up for missing those 2 games. I think the stat was he won 85% of aerial duels or something in this tournament.
85. Well,
it's not hard.
One duel for every million. 1% of duels per million.
It's not hard when your head's like 3 meters long.
Well, exactly. No one can win a ball around him, man. He's huge. He's everywhere.
Looks like a mushroom.
In the final, he made a shit pass in the first minute back to Pickford that went out for a corner, and then he headed the clearance. It was like he just,
it's my ball.
it was like he was just going, okay, I'm gonna clear some shots now. This is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I thought he was absolutely wicked, man. I was stoked.
I thought he was awesome. I just, it's hard when Italy build. They were a more attacking team in this tournament than they've been probably ever. But when they still build their team around a strong defence and a strong spine. And that spine starts with Bonucci and Chiellini. It's hard to take that away from them. I thought Maguire was awesome, but that's what I went with. I also had a notable mention for Christensen. I thought he was very good.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Mids?
Yeah, midfielders.
I don't have any argument to the 3 they picked.
Well, so they had Højbjerg, Jorginho, and Pedri.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wrote down...
Rice would be one that would get a mention again.
Yeah, I just about wrote his name down as well.
Yeah. If I was to take one out, it'd be Pedri for Rice, but then again...
No way. Are you insane?
No, but...
Pedri was... I put him down as young player of the tournament as well.
Definitely.
Agreed.
Pedri could have been player of the tournament. He was unbelievable.
Yeah, I actually agree.
He stepped in there as 18, played every single game, and just his through balls, he topped it out of everyone. So Spain was getting all the service, and then Morata's not finishing it. But Pedri was running everything in that team at 18.
Yeah, that's what Spain. I think Spain could have put a real dent in this. I mean, they got the semi-final, so it's not like they did poorly, but they could have really had a good go at the final if they'd had a number 9, like a striker who could finish.
Sergio Ramos was the one. Like,
unironically, Sergio Ramos in place of Morata would have finished more goals.
Like, I laugh, but like, why not?
Yeah. Banging them in for PSG next season.
So no, I disagree. You got to drop Højbjerg, bro.
What?
I thought Højbjerg was great, but if I was to take one out, it would be him.
Yeah, definitely. I agreed with Jorginho. This is a player I didn't even really like until recently.
Just now.
And I can't argue with the tournament he played. It was amazing.
Yeah, I'd Verratti and Pogba down as good players.
Verratti had a good tournament.
Yeah, I think he made 3 assists, which kind of went under the radar pretty quickly.
Well, and that's after missing the first 3 games or so.
I think he played in 1 or 2 of those, but didn't feature very heavily. But so he did that. Pogba's assist alone for Benzema in the Portugal game, and his goal against Switzerland. Good God.
Pogba was spraying passes all over the place.
Deep lying playmaker. Wonderful.
Yeah, Pogba was probably the best player to watch in this tournament.
Yeah, in terms of the first half of it, if France had gone further, he would certainly be in the talk for the best player of the tournament.
Oh yeah.
And unfortunately, for him, it didn't really go that way.
Yeah, well, he did everything he could, and they still couldn't.
And they still lost.
Yeah. And that's what happens. I'd go with Jorginho, Pedri, Pogba. I also wrote down Barella.
But yeah, Barella, good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was his first. I think it's his first major tournament, playing basically every game, and he just fit in perfectly. Like he just played like he belonged there the whole time. Looks like a good player. One for the future for sure.
Yeah, one for the future and one for now. Very good player. Cool. Forwards?
Yeah. So, who did they go? They went with Sterling.
Sterling, Chiesa, Lukaku.
Right.
And was it you, Ash, who said you didn't?
Yeah, I don't agree with the Lukaku.
I didn't put Lukaku either. I did agree with Sterling.
Now, Sterling is someone who I know I've had a sort of anti-England bias thus far in this team. Sterling, unironically, I think should have been player of the tournament.
Sterling was really good.
I think he's had an average season with Man City, and now he basically just put that behind him immediately. Scored important goals, made
Created
important
so much.
created stuff, dribbled at players, won penalties. Brilliant player. He was our most important player, and yeah, I made him the player of the tournament. But again, these things are negligible. So in place of Lukaku, who did you guys have?
I put down Ronaldo and Patrick Schick. I couldn't really decide between those two.
Yeah.
And I will admit, a lot of the reason they're in there is because they
scored
the most goals. I mean,
yep.
Ronaldo got the Golden Boot at 350 years old. So he's still creaming it, and they didn't even go that far. So I think Ronaldo played amazing, and then Patrick Schick, you can't argue with that goal. Obviously, that was unreal.
Yeah, it's unreal.
And then he carried on scoring like it was nothing, man. Great player.
Yeah. Honourable mention, Gasper Doiberg.
Oh
yeah,
Dolberg.
Yeah,
man.
Dolberg.
Again, he played with fiery intensity and wanted to win.
He didn't play every game, but he was a solid.
Scored a solid
shout.
3 or 4 goals.
Yeah, put the goals away when they need to be. So he was a shout for me. Benzema returned to the France team. He didn't score the goals, but a good focal point.
Again, he scored 3 or 4, didn't he, Benzema?
Yeah,
3 maybe.
3, yeah.
He played very well.
Yeah,
and if he'd gone, he looked like he really wanted it as well. If France had gotten further, you could have seen Benzema as someone scoring, at least a half dozen.
Oh, easy.
And France, creaming it. But again, that's not the way it goes. I had Lukaku, because for me he was the best. If you're naming a front three on balance, as in winger, number 9,
yeah, Benzema.
Lukaku was the best number 9, in my opinion. The way he held the ball up, the way he brought other Belgians into it, he scored goal. He scored, a goal in every game. Sorry, not a goal in every game. 1 goal per game, on average. And defenders just didn't really know what to do with them, apart from Chiellini and Bonucci.
Yeah. Well, he was really good. That was a great tournament for him, man. He looked the real deal.
Yeah. And of course, I had Patrick Schick down as a sub.
Yeah.
Not in terms of the final, I had Chiesa down as maybe he wasn't.
Well, see, I wrote Chiesa as well, but it was partly because I couldn't think of anyone else. I feel like Chiesa was good, but I don't know if he was good the whole time. But still notable performance. I'm open to changing my mind.
Okay, well, if Roberto Mancini is open to his starting 11's mind being changed, I think you maybe should be as well, because he didn't start with Chiesa on the pitch.
Chiesa played his
way into the team by being beast.
He was,
he scored, I think, 2 goals. He scored that one against Austria where I don't even know how to describe it. He tapped his way around a defender.
Mm.
He scored the winning goal in extra time, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he scored that other one.
The screamer.
The one that he borrowed from Insigne.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Against Spain.
Mm.
Beautiful goal, and he impacted games. He was the one who looked like he wanted Italy to win in the final.
He didn't want to give up.
And in the end, he got taken off for an injury. So fair enough, but
yeah. So there's no one else you guys can think of right wing sort of played really well. I know there wasn't. See, that's the problem. There wasn't an abundance of.
I don't think there
right
was an
wings in
abundance
particular.
of sort of wing forwards. Damsgaard, I guess, was like a good youth sort of, what do you want to, like, breakthrough kind of player.
Sure.
He scored a couple of goals, but other than that, I think they got it right. I think the front three that they named, in my opinion, that's right.
Yeah.
Agreed. Cool.
All right. Anything else?
Player of the tournament. We've already done that.
Well, yeah, it's Donnarumma. I can't.
Easy. I wouldn't go past him.
Like,
Mainly because I can't shoot, but
well, I named Sterling. I said Sterling,
I might even go Bonucci. It's hard. I don't know. That's a tough one.
Goal of the tournament.
Oh, I got to stay with the Patrick Schick one.
I've written down a handful, and maybe you'd like to hear them, but I already know which one I think you guys will go for and which one I would go for. We've got Schick versus Scotland, Modric also versus Scotland, Pogba versus Switzerland. Little shout out for Luke Shaw's goal in the final. Damsgaard versus England, the free kick, the only free kick. Christensen against Russia, screamer. De Bruyne against Denmark, and Insigne versus Belgium. So we've got however many that is, 8.
Christensen against Russia is my goal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I enjoyed that the most out of any of those goals.
Oh, fair enough.
Just personally, that would be just a banger of a goal.
For me, it's really fun seeing a centre half get on the end of it and just fucking kick the shit out of it from a long way away, and the ball just go like the keeper have no chance because he's smashing that hard.
Very Harry Maguire penalty. Like it's nice seeing an absolute thunderbolt top corner.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my personal pick. So
Fair
distance or no distance, it's up to you.
Gage.
Oh, I'm sticking with Schick, man. That was amazing. It was unbelievable.
Unfortunately, you're being overruled, Ash. It's Patrick Schick for me.
Yeah, man, he's incredible.
He did a thing that is unlikely, in that the ball went in and then the keeper went in, so you could get an extra point for that. So
it was the massivest dick energy I'd ever seen.
it was pretty good.
It made me think of that Cavani goal from last season, and I like, oh my god.
Yeah, that was.
This kid got even further than Cavani.
Yeah, he went even further, and it was more like bendy. Cavani's was very straight, which was nice as well. Best assist. I only wrote one down because it stuck in my mind. The Mailer one against.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Against the Czechs, right foot from the left.
Yeah.
Outside the foot. Bendy cross onto Dolberg. Dolberg had no choice but to score that.
Yeah, amazing. That was really good.
Best own goal.
Well, I've got
there was many.
Okay, do you want a stat? Before this Euros, there were 9 own goals in Euros history.
Now there's 18.
Now there's 18. So I've written down on my notes, lol.
Yeah, fair enough.
But one that's worth 2 goals is surely the Spain own goal. Like, just what the fuck?
I can't even remember. You guys have to refresh me.
Pedri passed it back to Unai Simon,
and he goes around the fucking
you
ball.
You know what's funny,
I
Gage?
forgot about
In
that.
the we discussed what would be your ruling in terms of dubious own goals if that exact thing happened, and then it happened in the next game. So yeah, that was quite a good one. I had Dubravka versus Spain, where he just sort of pounced it into his own net.
Yeah.
And of course, Pedri's goal, his own goal, was the only one where the team who scored it, or had it scored against them, I suppose, won. Every other team lost.
Oh, okay. See, he's good luck, man. He, even when he's bad luck, he don't lose.
Even when he's passing backwards, it's a successful
pass. Yeah, that's got to count as a successful pass.
Well, surely. It would ball in the goal.
Well, I
surely.
mean, it's an Unai Simon era anyway, so...
Well,
it's
the
just
ball
because
was
of
also,
the way that
right,
we don't, since
tragic.
Since he didn't touch the ball, it's not his
He did touch the ball.
He did, but he just...
Unai Simon touched the ball.
But then it goes down as a Pedri own goal.
Look, I don't know. But
No, I think it did go down as Unai Simon, actually.
it was his fault for me.
Mm.
Okay. Anything else?
Non-footballing moment.
Lols. The little car.
The Denmark fan. Contrast of emotions.
Oh no, it was Switzerland.
Oh,
He
was
a
he
Swiss.
Swiss?
a
Oh,
Swiss
sorry,
man.
sorry. I just saw the paint on his face, and I was
Yeah, he was
red and
Swiss,
white
and he was having a great time. Yeah, they hunted him down and gave him
what for?
free tickets to the next game, which Switzerland lost.
Nice.
I did see a Danish man in the crowd who had painted the Danish flag into a brick wall and on his face, which said, "You can't beat the wall, Kasper Schmeichel."
Nice.
Yeah.
And I also saw an Italian fan dressed as a slice of pepperoni pizza.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh yeah, the Turkish fan with a fez
Yeah.
and a moustache on his mask. That was nice. And the little car that came out with the ball.
Yeah, the rainbow car.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
Yeah. All right. So, any closing thoughts, fellas? Any more news you want to talk about?
World Cup
football
22. It's coming home.
Oh, I suppose the one thing to mention really is the Copa America. You know.
Yeah.
Messi's finally won his international trophy.
Yeah.
No one cares about Messi.
Oh, this is important, man. This was the last thing the haters had to call
Over
on.
Messi.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now he's done it. He's ticked that one.
Di Maria's goal in the final was a very nice one as well.
Amazing.
Off his
goal.
shin pad. Like, what a goal.
Dude, like, I forget that Di Maria is that
Is
good,
alive.
man. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
it's still play.
That was awesome goal. Just lifts it over.
Because he doesn't like United. That's why you don't know who he is.
Well, it's for some reason there's this stupid idea that if a player fails for United,
He's done.
He was never good anyway.
Yeah, rubbish.
And it's like, no, that's bullshit. Like, look at
Look at Luke Shaw.
Lukaku and Sanchez both moving to Inter Milan and winning it, no worries.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Copa
Copa over.
Messi.
Either
Yep.
way, good for Messi, and took out Brazil too. So it's no easy feat. Argentina usually struggles, and they took out Brazil to win it. Too.
Yeah, and it
So-
1-0 as well. So very tight game.
Big shout out for Emi Martinez in goal as well. He made a number of good saves in the final.
So
Yeah, good player,
Yep.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a funny world where Aston Villa is stealing players
Supply.
from Arsenal. They're
Yes.
like, oh, we'll just buy from this middle of the table team, and yeah. All right. Well, if that's where you want to leave it, guys. Nothing else.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Great.
Kakite,
Thanks.
thank
Yeah,
you.
Like
Ciao.
and subscribe, of course, and we'll see you for the next one.